computer to cooperate. It's going to get into Psalm 18 this morning as we're continuing our study in the Psalms. If you've read it, it might have taken you a little while. Most of the time we think of the Psalms as short, quick studies, but this has about 50 verses. So it is one of the longer Psalms. Going to break it up into 2 sermons. So we won't keep you too long. But it's a wonderful psalm. Definitely worthy of our study. I hope it blesses your heart. We'll start with the title. It's got a fairly long title to it. It says, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord, who spake unto the Lord the words of this song in the day that the Lord delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul." Now, it's interesting, this psalm is almost word for word with 2 Samuel chapter 22. So this was to be memorialized. It was a song that David sang to the Lord. It was a prayer of David to God, a song of David to God, but it was also something that he wanted everybody to hear. It's memorialized in both the history and in the songbook of Israel. And what David's doing throughout Psalm 18, if 2 Samuel 22 is the timeline for this, it's at the end of his life. So he's kind of looking back at all those years and all the ups and downs. What a life David had. And he's putting it in perspective for those that will come after him. Now, it's a normal thing for particularly a king to want to leave a great legacy behind. There are some that have even given themselves titles like Richard the Lionhearted, William the Conqueror. David could have titled himself the champion of Israel. Think about all the battles he won. I mean, this is a man that took on a lion and a bear. That alone is impressive. He fought the giant Goliath. He overcame all the afflictions of Saul. He brought down the might of the Philistines, even the insurrection of Absalom. All these things came against him, and yet he was victorious through it all. At the end of his life, all those enemies are subdued. His nation is rich and powerful. It's basically at its zenith. But do you see the title that David gives himself here? It's really beautiful. It's not the champion of Israel, it's the servant of the Lord. The legacy that he wants to leave behind is one of praise to God. This is a song that extols God's praises for what he's done in his life. He wants them to know this wasn't by my power, it wasn't by my cunning, it wasn't by anything that I have done. All the blessings that I have found, everything profitable that's ever happened in my life, that was the grace of God. Praise his name with me. Can we relate to that? Can it be our legacy? You know, our lives are pretty boring compared to David's. I'm not near so impressive from the standpoint of man. I haven't faced all his battles, ruled over a nation. History's not impacted very much, it would seem, by anything I do. But you know what? I can also say I'm the servant of the Lord. And you know, when you stop and think about it too, if you're a believer, you're a part of the church. You're a part of really one of the most impactful things there is in this world. That's what God uses. That's the light of the world. What an important testimony we have in this world. We do leave a legacy behind, whether we want to or not. Lord, help us to have this legacy of praise, this testimony, where others look at us and look at our blessing, look at the fruitfulness of our life, and give praise to the God who brought it forth in us. So let's look at this. First of all, David's cry. He's going to talk about how he faced his challenges, his trials, whether he was in the wilderness or whether he was in the palace. So we begin with the cry. And first and foremost, it's a cry of love. I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. This is really the foundation of everything that's going to come after it. His prayers, his song, his actions in life, they were motivated by love. You know, you're not going to find, I do not think, now I haven't studied it out, but I don't think you're going to find a statement like that very much in any of the religions of man. Man's not going to respond to his idol like that. Man will say, I will fear